Right, so JT, next up, I want to chat to you about Patrick Bamford. Where you
Oh my
stand on him?
God.
Do you love him? Do you hate him? I sit in the camp of, I don't really know where I'm at with Bamford. Do I think he should still be at the club? Maybe. Should he be the number 9? Should he be one of the highest paid at the club? I don't know. JT, where are you at with Patrick Bamford? Obviously, he's out injured already.
Yeah.
Where are you with him?
Well, I stand in the South Stand and I do stand with Mr. Patrick Bamford himself. Listen, I think this guy is a little bit too overhated, in my opinion. To say he should be out of the club, listen, I can understand the level of his wages being extremely high because obviously he was playing for us when we were in the Premier League and he was rewarded handsomely for his great contributions in our first year within the Premier League. However, since then, things haven't gone well, but he still has a big role to play. Last year, I thought he contributed a lot, and you've seen in small cameos this season, in games where we're not creating a lot of. Bamford serves us very, very well because, yes, I think Mateo Joseph should be our striker starting every single game of the rest of this season. But you've seen in games where teams are compact and they have low blocks and it's a really scrappy game and there's not a lot of creativity for Joseph to feed on, he struggles. Whereas Patrick Bamford has been used to that. He's been doing that year in, year out. So in games when there isn't a lot and you're going to have to hold off a man and you're going to have to create a few yards of space out of nowhere, that's Patrick Bamford's game. And you've seen there's been a couple of games this season. I even look towards. I think he came on against Portsmouth, I believe, and he in a small cameo, and he looked decent in that time. Yeah, he hasn't set worlds alight, but in those scrappy kind of games, I think he has a lot to offer us.
Do you not think we treat Bamford now though, a bit like like a sidemen charity game? A bit like, oh look, he's got a bit of aggression here. He's made a good pass. He's our number 9, and also like last year, I thought he at the back end of 2024, obviously he started scoring goals. He only scored 8. It wasn't. I don't think that. I think there's just this narrative that you people have to be like, oh, Bamford does this, oh, he makes good runs. He's our number 9. He's for Leeds United to be the number 9, and you're just getting this kind of downwards sort of praise. And last year we had a playoff, semi-finals and finals. He missed it due to a bruised knee. And if that's, it's your chance to be a legend. It's your chance to get this team back in the Premier League. And I'm just not in the camp of I watch him, JT, and I don't think he's a very good technical footballer. I watch him and I sometimes think,
Oh, that's
no,
harsh.
no. I watch him and I technically watch him and I think it sometimes looks like he doesn't know what foot he is. He looks like Bambi on ice half the time. Do you think that's
Yeah,
harsh?
Bambi on ice sometimes I do understand, but to say technically no quality, I mean, listen, you've seen it in games, you saw it when we are in the Premier League. Yes, nowadays, especially fitness wise, is catching up to him, but he does have quality he can turn on. Look at that Villa game where he slapped that hat trick in the back of the net, right? The
We're talk,
quality of the goals, man.
we're
The guy
talking
has
4 or 5 years
qualities.
ago, though. We're talking 4 or 5 years
Three
ago.
3 years ago, yeah, but
No,
he still has that quality. You don't lose quality. You lose pace. You lose fitness. You lose sharpness. You don't lose quality and technical ability. So to say he has no technical ability, no. However, physically, is he a bit cumbersome? Is he a bit clunky? Yeah. But compare that to someone else in our team who shall not be named, who is quite a bit more cumbersome and clunky and has scored more goals. I think he contributes a lot less. So if you're going to be talking about criticism being leveled at a number 9 at the club, that should not be Patrick Bamford. He has more of a role to play. You talk about the fact he only scored, what, 9 goals? Okay. He barely featured in the first part of the season. He was barely playing at all.
through
It was
injury.
Rutter and Piroe. He came in and ironically, him coming into the side coincided with Leeds' upturns in performance, and no one can deny that. Yes, he did kind of fall off the boil a little bit at the end, and yes, he has injury problems. But you want to talk about goals? You want to talk about a raw number? How many goals did JoelPerau get?
JoelPerau got more goals than Bamford.
Exactly. But did he contribute more? No, because he took away from the style of play. When he was in that side, he was more of a hindrance to the way we played than Bamford was. The off the ball work he does, the pressing, the hold up play, and everything offers you a different dynamic. Okay. Listen, as I said, we've got Joseph now. That's our number 9. We need someone who can play a different style of play to Joseph, someone who can hold up the play, who can be aggressive. Just for the odd games we need him. Yes, I do think he's on a bit too high wages for that. You can argue that, Ollie. If you want to say, is he being paid too much for a job? Could we get someone cheaper to do that kind of backup striker role? Yes. But we don't have that luxury right now, do we?
Yeah, understandably we don't. And if he did go, I don't think, I don't think a club nowadays would be paying what Bamford's on at Leeds United. I don't think there would
No.
be many clubs that would want Bamford. But I don't agree with the comment about the whole JoelPerau thing. JoelPerau thing. Sorry, he scored so many key goals, and I think he's been playing at the 10. He single handedly in that semi
Key
final.
goals. These
Yeah.
were not key goals. A lot of these goals were when we were already 3-0 up and he was tapping in a goal. He did not
What
score.
what
He
about
scored
what
one
about
key goal with the
literally last
penalty.
week?
Most of his goals, yeah, this season's a different story. We're talking about last season here. You said scored goals. He scored, okay, the playoff semi-final, he scored a key goal then. He
Yeah.
scored a key goal in the penalty back end of the season, and he scored last weekend, which was key goals. But in terms of before that, he wasn't scoring a lot of key goals. A lot of his goals came within the first 3-4 months. These were not key
Do
goals.
do you think that Patrick Bamford is a would you so you're saying Mateo Joseph's your number 9. If
Yeah,
everyone's fit, is your second in favour Patrick Bamford over JoelPerau?
yeah. And that's undisputable because not only I'm saying that, but Daniel Farke saying that. Because when we signed JoelPerau, I'm not saying JoelPerau is not even a better striker right now than Patrick Bamford, but in the system that we operate in, Bamford is the best B option we have because Farke's not even going to play him there. And you look at even the announcement video where players are saying their positions, and it's like Wilfred Nonto, winger, JoelPerau, striker, and number 10. He literally says it himself, number 10. Daniel Farke is not going to play him in number 9 because he can't press. Bamford, okay, can't press the way he used to, but he can still press better than Piroe. So he is our backup option. There is no other name there.
The
Can you
thing is,
name another one?
no, the thing is, I feel like I'm in the minority here, but I watch Bamford when I play it, like when he plays, when he ever plays. Do you know what I mean? And I just think, JT, mate, I just don't think he's good. I really don't think he's a good footballer, and I think he'd struggle to get in half of the championship sides. I really do. Nowadays,
Hey,
I sit on that opinion, and some people agree with me. Some people think what you want about we create more chances. I don't care. I really don't care.
but what do you mean by he's not good?
He's
Like he's not a good footballer, full
no, he's not a
stop?
good finisher. Every season you talk about that Bamford miss.
Okay,
He's
that
had
I
that.
can hear. I
He
can
we've
hear
had
that
that.
he's not a good finisher, that he's a
But
bit
that's what your
profligate.
strikers do. Our best striker of a ball is JoelPerau. He's our best natural goal scorer is JoelPerau, and people are still relying on Bamford when
Is he
he's not.
though? Is he?
Yeah, he's better than
Recently he
Joseph
hasn't
Perot.
been. Recently he
Per,
hasn't been. I would hang my hat on Joseph more, even though he's been a bit
N
profligate.
no,
I'll give him that.
I wouldn't yet with Joseph. I think we're gonna do the Joffy treatment with Joseph if we don't calm down a bit about him. You know how everyone kind of relies way too much on Joseph. I think you do need I'm glad Piroe got the goal as well because it's kind of taken sort of the pressure off Joseph because you know how much eggs we put in a basket for Joffy, and he's kind of gone, downhill. I don't want the same thing to happen to Joseph. I think Joseph is more a natural better goal scorer and
Striker.
better striker, yeah. But I still think at the club, if you're going to put a penalty, if you're going to put a one-on-one, JoelPerau puts it in the back of the net nine
I
times
don't
out of
think you
10.
give him penalties, to be honest with you.
Really?
Probably
Who would
give
you?
penalties to Man or Solomon at this point.
I mean, yeah, he's good. But either way, I'm gonna end this clip on. So you still love Bamford? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Listen, I love him for what he's done for us. I don't think he's the answer going forward, but at this current moment in time, we don't have any options. And he's the best backup option we have. I think Joseph is the answer for me. But sometimes you need a plan B in different games, in different circumstances. And Bamford, for me, is that perfect plan B.